Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at a little more into navigation, and we're going to implement a back and forward button. Okay, so here I'm on page 2, then I go to page 1, then I go to page 2 again, page 1. And now if I go and click to next page, well, there's nothing. But if I go back a page, you can see I go back to page 2. If I go back once again, you can see I go to page 1. When I go back again, you can see I go to page 2. So basically it stacks the pages that we were at, or it stores the pages that we were at, and allows us to navigate to them. So let me go to the page that I just went back from, so to speak. You can see now I can go to the next page. Okay, so basically this allows me to move between different pages and move back and forth between the different pages. Okay, and this will make a lot more sense even if you create extra pages here, and that's what we're going to try in this video. So you're going to have a little challenge along the way as well. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to go to my main window XAML here and adjust the buttons a little bit. So I want to have a back button. As this is in the stack panel, I want to have the back button at first, so on the left hand side, and then I want to have the forward button and the last point, so to speak. Okay, forward button click. So this means that I need to set up those events here as well. Okay, so let's make sure we have them. You can of course try this yourself. You can pause the video and try it yourself. So basically one of the events will be the back button click and the other one will be the forward button click. Okay, there's basically the same structure as the other buttons that we created so far, only the names are different. And now what we need to do in those steps is going to be to check if we can even go back. So we can only go back, for example, if the following condition is met. So if main window frame navigation service can go back. So there's this property inside of navigation service, which allows us to find out if we can go back, meaning that there is anything that we can go to, any page that we can go to. And if we do, then we can even call the go back method. Okay, so that's a cool thing here. The main window frame, or a frame in general, has this property called navigation service. And this has a property again that is can go back, but there is also the go back method. Okay, so we can use this go back method to now actually go back. And for the forward button, we have the same kind of method basically. The only difference here is that we can go forward. So there's this other boolean which says if we can go forward or not. So we can only, or we want to only go forward if we actually can do so. So we check the navigation service if we can go forward, and if we can, then we go forward. And the same goes for the backward button. And the buttons that we created here are basically replacing whatever this navigation UI visibility would have given us. Okay, so we can even run the application without this line, without hiding it, and going to a page and then going to another page. And you can see once we have 2 pages in the stack, we have this back button here and we have the forward button. Okay, so this is what we are hiding by having this line in here. So navigation UI visibility hidden hides the bar, hides this back and forward bar. And I believe it's nicer to design the back and forward button yourself because, well, it just has this look of Windows XP. And if you like that style and that look, that's fine. But if you want to design it yourself, well, you can make this navigation UI visibility set to hidden. So that will just hide this navigation UI. Okay, so now that we have those buttons, let's actually create a third page. Okay, so let's run this real quick just so you see that it actually works with the code that we just created. So we have page 1, we have page 2, we go to page 1 again and page 2. And now let's navigate back. You can see all the way to the stack that we cleaned up, so to speak, and then we can only go forward. Okay, now that we went forward once, we can go back once. Okay, now a little challenge for you. Create a third page that looks different again, and then play around with the navigation. So set it up so that you can actually navigate to page 3 and then test your software. Okay, so I hope you tried it. And therefore, I'm just going to create a new page. And this one will be page 3. And page 3 will have a stack panel as well. Here I'm going to have a text block that says welcome to page 3. And then let's add a button here as well, which will say something, don't click me, I won't do anything anyways. Okay, pretty stupid button, but that's what it's gonna say. And now the next thing was to go to the code behind of our main window and make sure that we set up the page. Okay, so here, third page will be a new page 3 object. And then of course we need to make sure that our third page is set up here at the top. So that means we need to have a public page 3 third page, and page 3 should be one word. Okay, and then once we click on the third button, so let's create a third button click here, and we set the third page. Now of course we need to make sure that we have this event, otherwise our software will crash. And that means we need to have another button here. So I'm going to paste it in here like so, and make sure that this event has the same name. And then this will be called page 3. All right, now let's test it. I hope you tried this and achieved this result as well, because now you know how to add a page navigation here. So page 1, page 2, page 3. Then after page 3, I'm going to go to page 2 and again to page 3 and then to page 1. Okay, so now we have a very different kind of mixed structure, and we can go from page 1 to the page that we were at before, which was page 3, and then page 2, going back to page 3, page 2 again, then page 1. Okay, and we can go forward as well. Okay, only as many pages as we were at, so to speak. Okay, so it stacks up. Basically, if you go from page 1, let me do it in the main window example here. So there is this stack that you're creating, right? Like so. So you have page 1, then you go to page 2, then let's say you go to page 1, then you go to page 3. Okay, so if that was the order in which you went to the pages, and now you're at page 3, so if you press the back button, you'll go to page 1. If you press the back button again, you go to page 2. If you press the back button again, you go to page 1. If you press the forward button, you'll go to page 2. If you press the forward button, you go to page 1. And if you press the backward button, you'll go to page 2. So basically, it just has the stack of the pages that you were at stored, and you can just navigate between those pages. All right, that was it for this video. Now you see how you can navigate between pages, and you can even navigate backward and forward. But that's not it for this chapter, because there is a little more to know about navigation. So see you in the next video.